You know, that's I knew you guys were going to ask me that question. You know, I can look at the budget. I can see the things that are in the budget now, and some of the things I don't agree with. But I wasn't there for the discussions. I wasn't there in the environment, so it'd be somewhat disingenuous on my part to say that you know, I wouldn't have voted for the budget. I'm glad to see that the things that I care about, that there's no new taxes, the education's fully funded. The cuts that were in the Democratic version, where they were going to take out $600 million out of law enforcement, that's not in there. So those things I'm glad about. The fact that it took 70-something days to get the budget, I mean, that's got to be fixed. I would be for, yeah, I mean, lock them all in a room and don't pay them with no retroactive pay. I mean, there's things that can be done to alleviate that problem. I don't think, and I haven't talked to Valines, I haven't talked to Cogdell or any of them since this has happened, but I think that they probably struck the best deal that they could do. I don't think that they're overly enjoy this budget. I don't think they're enthralled with it. There's things in there that they don't like. But it was just taking too long, and there are things that are going to have to be faced next year. I think that everybody learned some lessons, I hope. I think they did. And hopefully it'll go smoother next year. We'll get a faster start on it. That's my answer. I can't tell you. I don't know. I know that they're not. Should it? Yeah. I mean, you know, crime is on the rise. We have to combat the you know, the criminal element. That protection of the populace is the top priority of the state. To my way of thinking, police, fire, emergency services, National Guard, those guys don't get cut. They need to spend their money wisely. We certainly don't want to throw inordinate amounts of money at them, but they should be able to face the criminal element with overwhelming force. They should be able to take care of the populace in the terms of EMS services, you know, and provide excellent service. But they have to spend their money wisely like everybody else does. You know, we definitely need more room to incarcerate people. So I don't know, I can't say that I know that issue inside and out, because I don't. I'm not going to lie to you. But I know that there is the need for more prison space in California. That's one of the crazy things about this district. You talk to folks in Merced, and they say, yeah, dig it. You talk to the folks up here in Tracy and the Delta area, and they say, absolutely not. So it's a real touchy issue. I think that it's probably an issue that we shouldn't have had to face. We should have more reservoirs. We should have had them 20 years ago. I believe that, and I'm not dodging your question, I'm just giving some background on my thinking. You can't tell me that they didn't know that people were coming to California. These are all questions that should have had solutions, as I said, 20, 30 years ago. We ought to have more reservoirs up in the foothills catching all this rain. We ought to have, you know, educate the public more in conservation. Digging the canal. I've spent some time with some of the state hydrologists, and that's what they say. They say dig the canal. They say if this global warming is in fact warming the planet, and whether it's man-made or not is up for debate, but if that is happening and the ocean levels rise and you get more hydrostatic pressure from the ocean pushing into the delta, they think that from what I've heard, that the amount of water that's going through is not going to keep the delta from being inundated with salt. So no matter how much water you go through it, through the canal, through the Sacramento River, it's not going to help. You factor in, what about the possibility of large earthquake, destroying the dams there and flooding the delta anyway. All those things got to go into the consideration. I can see the logic in building the canal. I would rather see the water problem solved with more reservoirs and those kinds of things, without destroying that or taking water away from the Delta farms. Having said that, I believe that people and the farms in the South Valley are more important than fish. So I want to collect more data, but I can't say I'm entirely opposed to the Delta, but Delta Canal, the peripheral canal. If it could be, and again, I'm not a construction guy, I'm not a hydrologist, but I know that during the winter time that there's a whole lot of water that flows through that thing that just goes right into the ocean. If we could capture that water during the wet periods of the year and store it down in the San Luis Reservoir, down on the west side of Merced County, or in other storage places, and then not divert it during the summer. I don't know if that's a possibility, but I think we're probably getting to the point where we have to look hard at the peripheral canal.